Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first time doing this whole YouTube thing. A couple weeks ago, probably months now, one of my friends said, "You have every character in the game unlocked? You should be one of those YouTuber people." And I'm like, but then I finally decided to give it a go, because, I play this game way too much already, and I already tell my friends about it, and they have no idea what I'm talking about, because they can't see the gameplay. So, this is kind of a recording just so they can see what's going on. Also, I tried to do a live commentary while doing all these fights, and I just wasn't happy with it. So this is going to be voiceover. I think for future reference, I'm going to test out voiceover versus live commentary, but this one's voiceover. Also, I tend not to play with sound because I like listening to music or have something going on in the background. So this first video, there's going to be absolutely zero gameplay sound, which I am gonna change for future reference, because oh man, I actually watching all of this happen, it's not particularly all that engaging, I think, without sound. But anyway, here we have Justice League Cyborg. He disables Special 2, so I'm gonna use Raven and Raiden, which is probably my fourth or third strongest team. I want Batwoman the Drown alive to kill Deathstroke. Granted, it would have probably been better if I used Batwoman the Drown on Grodd, who's one of the Tier 1 bosses, and he's got a reflective shield. But I wanted to just see how much damage Batwoman the Drown does with Godkiller, because she steals attack, and the higher tier the bosses, the more attack they have. Which left Beast Boy versus Grodd, which you will see is quite the fight. But here we go. Raven's got 5 darkness stacks. Usually most people don't super move with Raven, but I do, just because activating her Deadly Sin super move increases the amount of damage against target per stack. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And it's not needed, because Raiden with a level 9 Godkiller artifact is enough to one-shot. Also, I'm using Puppet on Raven, which most people don't do. They tend to use 2 level 10 artifacts or 2 passive stat artifacts. I just don't have 2 passive stat artifacts that really give me a substantial boost, and I kind of prefer having the damage against target and being able to blind the opponent. The nice thing about Raiden, and why I use Raiden over King of Atlantis Aquaman, even though I have King maxed out, is that Raiden gets his damage buff right away, and also he's very well designed, and his combos are he's easier to combo interrupt with than King of Atlantis Aquaman is. Alright, so here we're gonna fight Nightmare Batman. I'm gonna use the League of Anarchy team with Girl of Steel Supergirl. Another option is Zatanna, but Zatanna is stronger and more convenient to use, and I need her in different teams. And League of Anarchy is strong enough that one-shotting in a slightly less convenient setup is fine for them. So here I'm tagging in and out for a little bit of power generation to get the Girl of Steel Supergirl stacks. Here we do a special 2 with Harley, and just keep tagging in and out for some power generation. EPI is usually not what most people use. Most people tend to use Harley instead, but I don't have all the gears for Harley. And also, the game's being a little stingy with how you get her gears. So, we're using EPI instead. Plus, I really have no reason to get Harley's gears. Because Entangling Poison Ivy already does the job fine. Look at that, 210% damage, and she's already dishing out 6 to 8 million values. Do another special 1, 300% damage buff with Girl of Steel now. Alright, and we're going to tag in again. Look at that, 300% damage buff, and I think that was a 10 mil value. Now, unfortunately, I do mess up the combo interruption. Alright, so Batman there decided to back off into a jump attack. His AI really loves to do that. So we don't hit the special, but we still get the damage buff, and it's all over hit for him. Look at that, 30, 30, 16. I think I saw a 50 mil earlier on. Tagging Girl of Steel Supergirl, have her tank the super move, 120k damage. I have her gears at level 60 to get the icon, but I don't really have her built. I do think I have max defense on her, so that is surprising she died. But yeah, here's the idea. Stun with Harley, push him back into the corner. Dark metal cards on Ivy. 15 mil. Special 3, 20 mil, 25 mil, and we kill with the with the special 2 of Harley. Excuse me. All right, so here we're gonna fight Deathstroke with the Batwoman, the Drowned team. In hindsight, I definitely should have used Beast Boy or a different team here, because the Grodd fight was so annoying that I really should have just used this team. Now, the reason I wanted to use Batwoman the Drown is because she uses God Killer. A lot of the later stage fights for her tend to be quicker than the lower tier fights because she steals attack with it. So here you can see I'm stealing 48,000 attack, and I think with passive stats in my Batwoman the Drown build, she usually has around, I want to say like 30,000 attack, so I'm like more than doubling my attack. So here you go, pretty standard Batwoman the Drown fight. I mean, if you care enough to watch this video, you've definitely seen what one of these fights looks like. Batwoman the Drowned, activate her hazard, and then Robin King puppet spam. So Deathstroke's got a damage cap, so percentage health is going to take a little bit longer, but still not really going to be an issue. Infinite combo him because he's got block disabled, and you can see those crit damage stacks go up. We're getting 47 million right there. He's going to do his special move. It's got armor pierce, but because of the God Killer damage reduction, Robin King survives. Generally speaking, that wouldn't have even been an issue if he died, because Batwoman the Drowned would have just revived him. If you're familiar with this game in any way, you know that this team is generally considered the best team in the entire game, because they can handle just about any situation in any fight. Activate the passive one more time. 45 million per second there, and Deathstroke goes down with 1 minute 28 left to go. And here we're going to get the rewards. 2.1 billion health, Deathstroke down, my first Heroic 7 clear. Alright, so, our rewards for Heroic 7, killing Deathstroke. Horrific Scarecrow. A drop I don't need, and don't want. But that is my first Heroic 7 clear, so, you know, achievement nonetheless. Now we fight Boss Grodd. Now, Boss Grodd, in hindsight, I definitely should have saved the Batwoman the Drowned team for him, because I tried to use Beast Boy, and I got very fortunate towards the end, but man, the setup for this fight is brutal. So, I know a lot of people like using Martian Manhunter to extend the duration of negative effects on Beast Boy, but my Beast Boy doesn't need it. Most Beast Boys don't need it. I just use Power Gold for the power reduction costs, because it just makes fights faster. So here, make sure he doesn't have power for a reflective shield, hit the special 1, trigger the burning negative effect. So now I just gotta wait until he loses the power for a reflective shield, tag in Beast Boy, and get the hit another special. Make sure that we get the abilities disabled. So a little bit of a spoiler here. I get unlucky and I don't trigger abilities disabled, which means that he still has his reflective shield. My puppet's level 7. I have an 83% chance to disable abilities, and I didn't get it. So here, I'm trying to stall. I'm trying to wait for him to do his special. And halfway through the fight, you can see I stopped doing basics. There, he does the special 3. I hit my special 3, but I don't get abilities disabled, and he reflective shields. I try to test my luck, go for the special twice afterwards. He reflects both times. There, I get incredibly unlucky because he had just enough to get a reflective shield off. So now my Beast Boy is on 1 HP, and Grodd is still got his reflective shield going. So again, my only option here is to hope that he goes for a special and do a special while he doesn't have any power to do a reflective shield. I tag in Power Girl because my Black Manta is class ascended, so he power steals. Grodd, unfortunately, making my life difficult there, going for a special 3 and having power left over to go for a reflective shield. I'm a minute in, like a minute left, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can kill Grodd. So, Grodd super moves. Beast Boy does a wonky tag in, but I get lucky. Grodd doesn't block. I back off because I don't know if I have blind. There he missed, so I have blind applied. He goes for a reflective shield, but because he's blind, I just keep going, and I get lucky here. He doesn't go for reflective shield. Once I see that the ability is disabled procced, I go into super move and I build combo for that damage boost. I've got 30 seconds left, and for some reason Grodd's got a weird interaction with Beast Boy, so he doesn't get hit by the first hit, which every other character does. But you can see I'm like panicking. I've got 14 seconds. Unfortunately, I miss abilities disabled again. He gets a reflective shield off again. He goes for a couple hits on me. Luckily, I'm pretty sure he's still blinded. He goes for a reflective shield again. But with 1 second left, my boy Beast Boy clutches up and I kill this annoying piece of garbage. I hate this man so much. Technically, he's a gorilla. But I don't know why they decided to make reflective shields a thing on bosses. And you can see that I am holding that screen because I am just breathing a sigh of relief. So, we're just going to go right into the next fight. I'm going to use Scorpion with the Flash to kill Harley here. I actually made a mistake here, and you'll see what I'm talking about once we get into the next fight. Also, I really only wanted to do this because I wanted revenge. Because last time I tried to use this team, I thought I tried to use this team, and I didn't get to kill Harley. But I'm actually pretty sure that I mixed things up, and it was Cheetah that I didn't one-shot with this team, and the team that failed to one-shot Harley was actually the Shazam team I'm going to use later. So, the idea with this team is Grodd is there for power generation, and because on his basic attacks he stacks debuffs, it's tag in with Grodd, apply debuffs, spams Puppet with Scorpion, make sure that all the negative effects are going, and then tag in Flash and get Flash's damage buff, and then don't lose Puppet. Because this team, with a convenient fight and a fight that goes well, has the damage to one-shot a 2 billion health fight. But because my Flash is only 2 stars, I only get 1 chance to activate it. And if I lose that buff before I've done enough damage with it, then I'm just cooked. I'm screwed. There's nothing I can do. Now, Harley's got Berserk, so I tag in Grodd, but she is a tier 1 boss, so I shouldn't have been too worried. Really, I wanted to tag in Grodd because of his 2 extra abilities. And I know that as long as I have that damage reduction and that defense reduction, I won't lose Puppet. But I am a little worried because in the past, I've let those debuffs expire, and I've lost Puppet, and it's been a hassle trying to reapply Puppet and get back into the gameplay. Now, here I get unlucky with Puppet, as I didn't manage to blind Harley, so she was a little bit annoying, jumping and doing her specials for a bit. But luckily, I get her back into the corner, I start doing some damage, I tag Grodd in to reapply his negative effects, and I just keep hitting Harley and hitting the specials every now and then. I'm not 100% sure what the most optimal gameplay with Scorpion is, because in theory, I've seen people just spam his special, but I've also seen like a combination of basic attacks. For me, I feel like the damage is higher when I combine combos and specials, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can see here, we're doing 44 mil values, and I am able to kill this fight because I kept the Flash damage buff. Now, unfortunately, what this meant was that I had 2 teams that required Special 1. And because I'm on tier 1, I have to kill every boss before I can move on. And Captain Cold disables Special 1. So I went, alright, I'm going to use my Shazam team here because they have a higher chance of one-shotting than my Superman team. Because my Superman team is kind of just like, well, I have a 7th fight and I can do some percentage health. Let me do percentage health and then clean up the next day. So my average fights per 2 days is like 13 because it's like 6.5 or 6 and a bit. I know that Shazam, ever since the rework, has been ridiculously powerful. I've seen people one-shot with this man with no gears. But my Shazam's only 3 stars and I don't have the passive stats to do that. I prefer using Collector of Worlds Superman as opposed to the Flash, just because I like keeping combo instead of building it. But the problem is it's very chance reliant, and this fight I got real lucky. So you can see before I lost combo, I kept it 3 times and got 15 stacks. And I prefer using Killer Frost with Shazam because everybody kind of knows Shazam's got clunky combos. So using Killer Frost is just way more convenient because you can keep the enemy permanently frozen. And so here you see I'm just stacking the damage buff, stacking Shazam stuff, and I'm using his Special 1 because the way that Shazam is built, or the way that you're supposed to play him is you spam Special 1, and then you hit your Special 3 to convert that overload into a damage buff. And after you're done stacking that damage buff, you just stack as much overload as you can in the remaining time. But the way he works is, if your overload stacks are over 20, then his stacking becomes very low. So you want to do 20 overload, Special 3, 20 overload, Special 3, 20 overload, and then you're kind of, it's kind of in just fate's hands how you do after that. Because I've gotten very lucky combo strings where I've kept a high combo after stacking 20, which has helped me get to like the 30, 35 range, which is how much I need to one-shot. Because keeping combo when stacking is easy isn't really that important, because he stacks it really fast. But here I keep combo, so I managed to get 1 stack. But here you'll see that without keeping a combo in 1 string of basic hits, I don't get enough to actually get a stack. So I need to keep combo to actually like get any value out of it. And here's what really determines whether or not I one-shot with Shazam where I'm at. I keep 58 combo. So now you see the stacking is real fast because I do a special on 72 hits of combo and I get 5 stacks there. I think it was 5 or 4. But my point being that without keeping combo on Shazam, there's nothing I can really do. And I keep combo again, so I know that I'm going to get at least 38 stacks. 39, my bad. And I'm going to go for a combo again, and I'm going to do a special. My idea there was to hope to build a little bit of combo before super move, but I didn't keep combo, and I knew that if I did a special there, it would have clocked over, and I wouldn't have been able to super move with Shazam. And I'm like, 39 stacks is probably going to be enough, and it was. So that's 6 one-shots, and that's essentially peak performance for my account. Because my last fight is just kind of going to be percentage health. So here I'm using Black Adam, Zatanna, and DC Universe Superman. Now the idea with this team is Zatanna and Black Adam should be done within 45 seconds, and then I do Superman's percentage health and stack his damage buff. So Black Adam is the best character in the game to do percentage health with, in my opinion, because every other character needs like a condition or a special move to do their percentage health. Black Adam tags in and just does it. Now I stayed a little bit long with Black Adam because I already finished his percentage health, but I wanted to make sure, and I kind of knew I wasn't one-shotting this fight, considering that DC Universe's Superman's whole thing is he gives himself a damage buff and also stacks damage against target, but he can only stack damage against target with Special 1. And because I don't have access to that, Twin Blade's kind of useless here. I mean, the one thing it does, and you'll see it a little later, is that when Captain Cold does his special moves and activates a barrier, Superman just kind of cuts through it immediately. So here I'm tagging out for Zatanna for a little bit of power generation and to steal Captain Cold's power, and also to finish applying all of Zatanna's debuffs. So here I'm combo interrupting with Superman. Luckily, Superman is more convenient to combo interrupt with than most characters. I tag in Zatanna, tried to keep the puppet up, but unfortunately I'm literally just a second too late. And I'm doing Special 2 here. I think Special 2's got a little bit of a faster animation than Special 1. I mean Special 3. And it also just costs less power. Now, this is ideally how you want to play. You want to do Black Adam first to get his debuffs to help Zatanna trigger Puppet, and then you want to tag in Zatanna and get all of her stuff out of the way, and then after you've stacked Zatanna's damage buff, you just keep Superman in the fight, and you just punch the opponent to death. Also, you want to do Superman's percentage health last, because what I've noticed is for some reason, Superman doesn't do max health reduction, or current health reduction, I mean, but he does max health reduction. So, if I did Superman first, Zatanna would do less percentage health. But you can see, every time I do a special with Superman, it's always 36 mil 800,000. It never decreases even though the opponent's health is decreasing. Now I know because I can't do Special 1 and I can't stack damage against target, I'm not going to one-shot this fight. In a more convenient fight, there is a potential for me to one-shot, and I think at lower levels, with other solo raids, I'm pretty sure he's almost guaranteed to one-shot. But yeah, my Superman is just not strong enough yet at 3 stars, and definitely not without a fight. Definitely not in a fight that literally negates one of his main points. So yeah, I mismanaged my fights. So, this is my first time recording gameplay and trying to upload it and, doing this whole YouTube thing. You can tell that there were some mistakes. I forgot to turn the audio on. I'm stuttering a little bit. I did a voiceover instead of live commentary. All of that I think is subject to change. It depends on, how convenient live commentary is for me, whether or not I like live commentary more than a voiceover. I think I am going to keep uploading solo raid content, if not for everyone else to see, then just for my friends to make fun of me, because I enjoy it, and I enjoy kind of sharing, stuff that I love with people. So yeah, until next time, which is probably going to be tomorrow, I'm going to leave it at this, and we'll see where the future takes us. Have a good day, everyone. I guess I'll figure out an outro later.